That's great.
All right, lunch is good.
I'm good. Check. Am I on? You good?
Cool. All right, I'm rolling over here on video.
Oh man, welcome guys. I'm Lunchbox, and this is, my Super Bowl. I love having you guys. I met Scott a few years ago. I am a diehard fan, so this is amazing. So I want to say welcome to Paulie, Mark, Avery, and Adam, and then Davies. I didn't know you were coming either. Hey, just random show up. Thank you.
A couple times ago, we were in Nashville. These guys reached out. I forget it was through me or through Derek when we did a show here. And I think it's rare, but I believe we have a completely new cast with us here today than we had that day, including Derek, who can't be here. He sends his regards. He loves you guys too. But yeah, that's what's cool about this is that we're kind of doing our own little, every show of the Real World Road Rules Challenge has its own like organic, cast chemistry, and then now you got a whole new slew of cast.
Rolling the dice, and this is what you got today, baby.
And then some of you guys don't know each other, but a lot do. So do you guys all know each other that are here?
Yeah.
Yes.
We never met. I haven't seen Mark since Trinidad in 2005. Paulie and I know each other virtually, but
No. We met in Orlando.
He just doesn't remember.
We also listen.
I don't remember meeting me in Orlando.
We also met in Orlando. He was just very tipsy in Orlando. He doesn't remember.
I do. When there's alcohol in flights, it's a recipe for awesomeness.
But we haven't been sober, really caught up in forever. So it's nice to see everyone. Yeah, and Davis, I haven't seen since forever. Really so yeah.
So but Dave, how did you how do you guys stay in touch? How does Davis, if he hadn't been around, how does he get back into the group with you guys? How does it all tie together?
I don't think I'm in the group.
Davis is a DJ.
I think one of the great things about what we do when we're not shooting is stuff like this, right? Getting to travel all over different cities, doing Challenge Manias. And Scott always has a great knack of always interchanging people that haven't seen each other in a while that makes sense. So the fact that we came here today and they're Carolina, I'm Florida, Paulie's Florida now, you're here?
I'm in Nashville. Davis
is here, so it made sense. And not a lot of other shows do what we do in terms of getting back together so frequently. So it just, by just shuffling the deck, man, I think we're always still big fans of each other. So that's always good.
Well, I kind of feel like the challenge is almost like Comic-Con in a way. When it comes to the fandoms and the people, there's so many of us. I feel like Big Brother can't do these pop-ups. Or Survivor can't really do these pop-ups as frequently as you have set it up.
There's not the connective tissue of you guys going back and playing with each other and things like that. Whereas, because these two just played together on the 40th season. Paulie,
us three.
These three. These
Battle
three
of the Eras, we know.
These two met on All Stars 4. I believe you made your MTV debut 2 or 3 decades before hers, and now they're dating.
No. That's what I want to talk about.
We're going to get
there. What brings you back after so long?
Look at her. No.
I get that.
We might have to pass Adam the girthy mic for this one.
He doesn't go there knowing that Avery's going to be there. What made you decide to say yes when they call you again?
Okay. You never don't want to say yes. Maybe there are some people, but it is a really amazing family. It's but as soon as you get over the dysfunctional part of it and kind of accept that we're all super flawed but when we get together, we learn so much about each other. We have so much fun. Yes, we have to play a game, but I've been waiting to get back into the family. You know what I mean? And to have the opportunity to date somebody who actually can get what's going on when I'm away or she's away. We realize that it's not just a vacation. It's because it's
definitely not a vacation.
Right. It's
definitely not a vacation.
You're in a human experiment, and unless you have somebody who's kind of been through that trauma with you, we're all trauma bonded. That's why we like to get back together so we can watch compare our train wreck of a lives.
And I think now with All Stars bringing back some of those faces that you grew up with, Adam's a father now. A lot of the women on the show now are moms. Avery's kind of playing a stepmom role, right? So, and I think having All Stars being so fresh to the audience, I knew it would be popular because when I sent the tweet out on Twitter or X, it went crazy. So the fact that people like Adam or Davis wants to come back, the fact that there's now a platform where if they come back, it's not weird anymore. It's oh, this is All Stars. We expect Davis to come back. We expect the Adams. So I think it's nice to have that as a secondary show to the franchise show. And, now they're kind of interplacing each other. There's All Stars on the franchise on the All Stars. So it's a good little brother-sister show, I think.
And I need you guys to slow down, though, because there's an elephant in the room. I haven't watched this season of All Stars. The rivals, I haven't I just finished Battle of the Eras and dissected that whole thing and just was like, man, that was amazing. And it's like the next week, All Stars, Rivals, and I'm like, guys, I need a break. I need to decompress, go through like who I thought played the best game, what the show was like. How are you guys doing them so fast? Can we slow down a little bit?
You're not wrong.
Well, they pumped.
Absolutely not.
They
You cannot
actually
slow down.
They shot them back to back
Yeah.
in the same country. They used a lot of the same crew.
Got
They used
it.
a lot of the same equipment, things like that.
That was
to
more of a
save little
timing
bit
issue,
of
too.
coin.
Yeah.
And they use, to be honest with you, a lot of the same cast members got back on a flight, went right. You know, your Devons, your John A's had just done 40. They went and filmed All Stars Leroy before 40 even aired. So literally, they went. They got done, I believe, in May with 40, and they had All Stars in the can by the end of July. All done back to back.
So when you get eliminated, do they fly you home or do you have to go to a hotel like on Survivor? Because people can't know
Tell
that
them the
you're
story,
eliminated.
Mark. Where'd they send you?
So I'll speak for Paulie and I. We went together.
I mean, I didn't want to ruin it.
So-
I didn't want to, like,
So when we got eliminated in Vietnam, which was literally like 4:00 in the morning, remember that part?
You're not going to believe this.
So we went to what we thought was going to be this amazing hotel.
Yeah.
We went to a back alley hostel. And I remember going into the lobby, and between the desk and the lobby was a huge mountain dirt bike. So there was a motorcycle like in the between, and no one was there. And it took forever to get our rooms. And I remember I finally got my room, and I opened my room. I just wanted to relax by myself because I hadn't had alone time in forever. And I walk in, and there's a Vietnamese couple in the bed. And they're like, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, man. So then I blew my top. I was like, if I don't get an effing room in the next 5 minutes. So anyway, it wasn't as glamorous as I thought it was going to be.
Because what they do to us is when we first come in and, you know, it's all the glam of like everybody, oh my God, you're on together. They put us in this 5-star hotel. We're all just like getting treated like royalty. Everybody's kind of hanging out. You get access to the gym. You get food whenever you want. You get whatever you want. You get eliminated and they're just like, fuck off. And like we're in this back like this hostel. The power was going out all day, and now mind you, in Vietnam, prime like summer, 100 degrees, 100 plus humidity, the power goes off, your room is an instant sweat box, and then all of a sudden it comes back on and you're right in an ice box. You walk out into the hallway, immediately hit by there. Nobody downstairs spoke English, so you're trying to ask them where the best food places are, and they're just like staring at you. I mean,
you were just
Mark never loses his mind. So for Mark to blow his top,
you just I guess when you're in a foreign country like that and there's a language barrier and stuff, you're expecting to have someone down there just at, on post at all times. We didn't get that. So I remember a lot of us were like, well, when do you think we're leaving? Like, who's going to tell us or come to our door? But it all worked out. But when you arrive to the show, it's a lot more glamorous, I think, than when you leave.
And you guys did so much complaining that when they did bring in these guys for All Stars 5, they had worked out some of those kinks. The conditions were a little better.
Their house and conditions on All Stars 5 was head and shoulders above season 40. Because if you look at season 40, it looks amazing, right?
The house looks amazing.
Looks amazing,
Like,
but
I loved it.
but what it is.
Well, the kitchen was a little funny.
Listen,
like,
no,
the stairs.
let me.
I didn't really understand that part.
I totally
Like,
agree with
ducking
you.
down to cook, and that was a little weird.
Hold on, let me speak on that. It looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
You walk in, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just a shell of a house, right? So everything they brought in wasn't so like we actually were using the bathroom outside and porta potties and showering outside because it wasn't really a functional house. It looks great on a
like
movie
a castle.
set. It's like a castle.
But they didn't have showers in
Right.
castles.
So if you notice the kitchen, right? The kitchen with the thing, like Theo couldn't even. I mean, I'm bending down to try to do stuff. So
Great
it
kitchen
was.
for somebody
It looks
like me.
amazing.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. And I think, some of the fans were like, you guys were in this castle, but like it's not unless you've been there. You were there, Avery.
See,
It wasn't
I
the
didn't
best.
mind the house because I hate bunk beds. So the fact
Okay.
that we each had our individual beds and we had a back room for our closet that had locker rooms for our clothes. Because like the biggest pain in the ass is when you're in a house and everybody has their suitcases in the room that has bunk beds. You're vying for storage space. This house had the storage space, had single beds, so people weren't climbing over you. I didn't mind it. The showering in the bathrooms, though, and the food definitely interesting. But once again, the kitchen was made for somebody my size, so I didn't mind it.
And luckily for you weren't there very long.
I wasn't there very long at all. I think I spent more time in the hostel hotel, recovering from my concussions than I did in the house, which was another interesting thing to have to witness.
So how long are you there before you start shooting? Like you fly in, do you start doing like physicals?
We were there for 40. We were there a good week and a half,
Yeah,
right?
I would say a week and a half because we were waiting for other cast members to show up.
That's extenuating circumstance.
So a game was being played for a week and a half with cameras not on.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just
There were
not
hookups.
ideal.
Yeah.
They don't like it that way. There was one cast member that they really wanted who could only start a little later than everyone else, and that's.
But also, I think.
Wait. Do you want to name names or
well,
no?
they show it on the show. Jordan comes in a little bit
Does he
later.
really?
They
I
all
don't
do
remember
like
that.
this welcome party, and then all of a sudden Jordan kind of shows up at the house, and there's this just crazy tracking shot of like behind him with the cowboy hat, and you see
It was
the
kinda
sunset
badass.
and whatnot, and they make it like it's this big glamorous entrance and fine and good. But for that to have happened, you guys are waiting for 10 days for.
And then he went on to win after coming in late and
made this
being
10
one
days.
of the best
The
players of all
craziest
time.
thing was, I remember waking up and someone saying Jordan's here. I'm like, no way. And they're like, yeah, he's here. I'm like, well, where is he? Like, he's just hanging out down. Like, it wasn't. They made it seem like this huge thing on TV, but then
No,
he
they
just
snuck
shows
him
up
in while we were sleeping.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
he
just
showed
shows
up.
up, and I'm like, oh, he is here.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
it's
they
kinda
did
weird.
do a whole thing where he showed up at the Errors Invitational, was talking shit to everybody.
Yeah.
And
okay.
everybody's sitting there like he's the first one going in.
Yeah.
Never touches an elimination all season.
You guys dropped the ball there.
So that's where so they had people flying in. What was the one before Battle of the Arrows? Was it a Battle for a New Champion, right?
Yeah.
So is that filmed in the same spot too? Because I felt like everybody that came in and battled was on Battle of the Arrows. Like I felt like it was a precursor, like a tease.
I think that was
like
in Croatia, wasn't it? Battle for a New Champion was in Croatia.
Yeah, because they flew
Yeah.
into Italy or something like that, right? And then
They always
something
pick
like that.
international spot just for insurance, and it's a lot way cheaper to
The
shoot.
Which
Battle
is
for a
awesome.
New-
Now, are there any like stuff we don't see on camera when you guys go out to these bars and you have the bar to yourself? Awkward as crap. Like, I mean, because you're already with the same people you're in the house with. I like it back in the day when you'd go to the club and there was random people at the club that are like, who are the hell are these people?
That was
But-
my time.
Yes, exactly. But now they make it where you have the bar to yourself. Is there any shadiness like where you're like, whoa, I don't think we should be like when
No.
you're in these countries?
No,
No, I think that they protect us pretty well. Like we're always surrounded by security, almost to the point like it's like if you didn't want people to notice that we were there, well, with them you're gonna notice that we're there. Like it's almost like a production just going into a place. Like they stop, they like basically make a human wall. They like shush everybody in and then close the door. Like they're very like we're definitely little ducklings, I would say.
And then, like, filming wise, this is behind the curtain. I want to know a little bit. When you're like walking out to the challenge or walking back into the house, do they make you refilm that 10 times?
Oh yeah.
100%. Oh yeah.
You need at least 2 shots
And I
a
don't-
drone shot.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, you need.
Yeah.
Well,
And I don't know what
you
it.
use them.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
See, this is what I'm talking
These
about.
amazing parties they have
Yeah.
us bring. They'll like get us to bring 80s stuff or like gold for the gold party. And we have what we think is the best time, probably one of the best events. And then you don't even see it on like the episode. You realize just how little time there is for them to get in every single bit of storyline.
Mark, I don't know how it was back in the day when you were mingling with the locals, but like, was there any trouble that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah, in mine
CT did exist.
I mean,
during
back
that
in
time.
I remember in Jamaica was shady, Trinidad Tobago was shady because we didn't clear the bars. We just kind of went in as ourselves,
Right.
and there was people getting in arguments or fights. I think one of the times a girl kissed a random local at the bar, but it wasn't as safe back then, for sure, 100%. Now it's like we know when we're going out and we know what it's going to be, and a lot of the times we're like, let's just all drink here. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what I mean.
why are we
Yeah.
going?
Why
Just
are we going to a bar?
Because
It's like they had to change the location for TV.
1,000,000%. So we're all tired. We're like, can't we just have bars at the beers at the bar here?
And Adam, you
By the
answered
time
my.
you get to the bar too, it's like 3 hours later. No one wants to go out. It's because by the time they actually do all the exiting and entrance shots, and then you go out to the bar, it's probably
Is
2
there
or 3
music
hours.
playing, or they have to
don't-
keep it no music?
And then
right?
there's sometimes where like people
yeah, there's
aren't
music
allowed
though, yeah.
certain drinks. So you'll go into a bar and it's like, all right, no brown liquor.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Really?
sudden,
No
and
shots,
then
yeah,
certain
they'll
people
cut
will
it- cut
leave,
us
and then
up.
like you come into the same bar the next week. It's like, Can we? You guys can drink whatever you want. All right. Some people are just.
You mean like when Tony leaves?
There's so many
Once
liabilities.
Tony leaves the house, everybody's like, "All right, guys, you can drink whatever you want now."
They actually, it's funny because back in the day, they would just, you could have,
Dude, it was like
you could have
Party
whatever
Central.
you want.
Yeah.
But now they'll dye the vodka
Yeah,
bottles
but we
so
have
blue.
to. We're stashing them.
Yeah, so like they were I remember people pouring vodka bottles in water bottles back then, but now like they'll dye the vodka blue so you can see what they're actually drinking. It's just, it was the Wild West back in the. I remember on our days off in Trinidad and Tobago, on my day off, Robin and I left the set, went and rented a hotel away from everyone for
Nice.
2 days, and then showed back up. So like it was like that.
So Mark has kids in Trinidad and Tobago that he doesn't know about.
Got little ones running around in Trinidad.
Wait, so Adam, you kind of answered my question. I thought when I watched the parties, the theme parties,
Yep.
I thought, okay, they either had to tell you beforehand or they tell you, okay, in 2 days we're gonna have this party. What do you want? And they go to the store and buy it for you.
Yeah, they'll put together a little liquor list, but like a lot of the stuff, sometimes they won't even tell you. Be like, I mean, like Derek will decide that we're just gonna have a palm tree party, right? Like,
Toga party.
Yeah,
and like
toga party.
or toga party. Yeah, that toga party from Mexico, from Hurricane Julia. That was where that whole thing started.
Yeah.
Adam,
They'll give you a heads up like, hey guys, bring some 70s gear, and you know what it's for. But I
Right.
mean, a lot of the times, like Adam was saying, it's like, you know, you just show up and people are like, hey, tonight we're gonna do a bikini thing or this, or bring your swim trunks.
How hard is it to stay enthused the whole day when you're at these challenges? Because on TV it looks like it takes an hour, 30 minutes, and you're obviously there for 8 hours because it's sunlight and it is dark. So, like, how do you guys?
I wanted
fake
to
it?
ask Mark and Adam this. Back in the day, how early would they be able to finish the challenges and wrap them? Because I remember on my first 3 seasons, we were done by like 3 or 4 p.m., which gave you time to get back to the house, chill, relax, do deliberations, then go out. And then in this newer time period, you're like on set from 8 a.m. until like 10 p.m. You get home at midnight and they're like, all right, guys, have enough energy to change, shower, and go the fuck out to the bar at like 1, 2 p.m. And I'm like, is there a way to finish these faster during the day? Do we need every single shot? Like, are you getting all of our bulges with every shot here? Like,
I will
what is
say
happening here?
the more recent challenges takes, because there's so much more technology, takes so much longer to film. Like you said, we're up sometimes on a bus for 2 hours, do the thing, do all the stuff, come back. It's past dinner, and then they want you to shower and go out real quick. But I remember one of the greatest things was Battle of the Sexes 2. We were in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The boys had a house and the girls had a house on the set. We didn't really leave the set at all to do challenges because they were so kind of basic. So like we would just be like, walk out to our challenge. We would do it. It would be 2 hours later, we'd be back in our house. Sun was still out. We could bullshit around. So it was definitely less technical back in there. I mean, we did eventually go to like the big height stuff and the big car crashes, but back then it was like, okay, guys, you're gonna walk through this maze of snakes and pick up these coins. So that was like, you don't really need to go anywhere for that.
Are the challenges better now or were they better back then? Because like
They're more fun back then. They're better now.
okay, because like on Battle of the Eras, when they're doing the car off the cliff and TJ is selling it like it is the coolest challenge ever. As a viewer, it was stupid. It was so stupid because they literally didn't do anything. The bungee cord pulls them out and the car goes over the cliff and then you just drop in the water. It was nothing, and they acted like it was and I'm like, can we just get back to the like?
Could have been an
fun?
email.
Almost as
It's
stupid
cool
as
if you're
playing
doing
an
it, right, Adam?
elimination. Wait,
When you're doing it, you're doing it for the win, and the win is awesome. Right?
Yes, no, I get that.
So not hard at all to get yourself amped up. Not even a little bit hard to get yourself amped up. But like, you kind of look. It's like somebody was like, "What's your favorite challenge?" And I'm like, the eliminations were actually my favorite part. Like some of the challenges you do are like, I don't know. In the old days, we had remember dogfighting and Telluride and
all
like
this stuff, yeah.
skydive. I mean, there's pictures of people jumping out of fucking airplanes with parachutes, single parachuting, landing on their own, and they've never taken a parachuting class. You get like, find me one insurance company who will insure like a skydiver with 0 jumps.
There was a challenge back in the day where they had these single engine planes, and you were tethered, but you still dangerous. You had to get out of your seat, climb on top of the plane, hook yourself in to this thing, and then the plane would do a 360 with you standing on it. Like, in terms of like insanity, like, who checks that? You know what I mean? Like, we did some crazy shit.
They kind of want to have their cake and eat it too, since everything's so much safer now. They want to have like the explosions or the thing falling off a cliff, but they know that they can't do anything half as unsafe as they used to do it. So what they do is they'll have like an explosion go off, but it'll have nothing to do with what they actually did. Like, they solve a puzzle and then there's an explosion, or a car goes off a cliff and then they have to do a spelling bee, and you're like.
They specifically told us not to do what Fessy did, jumping through the paper when it was lit on fire. Because I wanted to do that too. I was like, can I do like every second counts, right, TJ? Can we jump through when he's like, absolutely not.
That was the most Fessy thing to do
Fessy
ever.
goes right through it.
I wasn't shocked that he was the one that did that.
No.
So, Paulie, when you come from Big Brother, like, is it hard to acclimate? Is it like everybody automatically like, oh, you're Big Brother, you don't know how to do this crap. Like, you're an outsider. How does that work? And how does it, in your guys' eyes, when you have Big Brother, Survivor, you got Michelle, you got all them, is it like, man, you guys are just posers?
I think, and then I'll let Paula, you can finish this, but I think in terms of Big Brother and Survivor coming in, I think they're actually equal or better strategic players than the challenge players, because the challenge players are more, I think, just back in the day at least, were very physical and partied, but their shows like Big Brother, you have to be very strategic, and same with Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I came on, I adapted to the MTV style of playing because I just personally liked it better. Because in Big Brother and Survivor, you kind of have to be nice, and you almost have to like play a strategic game because it's a voting thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the challenge, you could kind of sit there and be like, well, I'll do whatever I want because you got to throw me in to go home. And it wasn't too hard to adapt. I mean, especially when you're watching people like Johnny and CT and Wes for years, you're like, all right, they're doing the exact same thing that they've always done. There's not really much changing from their strategy. I do think that challengers are a little bit better in terms of exchanging social currency because they understand that this is a game where you do come back, whereas like Big Brother players and Survivor players will go in and kind of do it. I would like to think that when I was on in the beginning, we didn't play like Big Brother or Survivor players, but I feel like the Big Brother and Survivor players that have come in after definitely have changed the game to be a little bit more snaky, playing in the shadows, you know, saying you're working with somebody, but then also working with their enemy and trying to keep yourself in that like on the fence position. And I don't really like that. The only reason why I even stand up for my CBS people now is because I feel like they're pussies and they just get shit on online and they're just like, we're not going to tweet back, and they get shit on in the house and they're like, we're not going to argue back. And I'm like, I hate that you guys are so soft and you don't have a backbone and stand up for yourselves. So I guess I'll be the asshole that is always, you know, doing dumb shit and like getting into trouble on social media and everything. But like,
I'll drink.
How noble of you, Paulie.
I only do that because they're literally getting shit on and not doing anything.
How would they survive
at the
without
same time,
they wouldn't. I fucking paved the way for this.
Remember when he
pussies.
debuted though? He clearly had a chip on his shoulder.
No, this is what I was gonna say. Most rookies come in and play like little bitches.
Yeah.
Paulie, you came in like you were gonna set the house on fire. Like you came in like, look, mother, I'm here, and you acted like a vet. Like you had big balls. Where most rookies are like, yeah, I'm a rookie. I guess I'm gonna go in. You know what I mean? Like they won't vote for a veteran. You, on the other hand, like why are more rookies like that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, listen, that dives into like what my childhood was like and what it was like
New
in
Jersey,
my 20s.
sports, all that stuff.
Italian, you know, all these things. But I also think I came in a little bit later. My frontal lobe was a little developed. So when these guys tried to use their usual tactics of gaslighting and narcissism, I was like, you guys are fucking dumb. And I think I can outsmart you guys for the most part. And I think that's what it was. Like, I remember walking into a room and them kind of be like, you know, I think it was you that said this, Paulie. And I was like, all right, here's what we're not going to do is lie. But if you guys want to throw me in, just say you want to throw me in, but don't do this whole fucking bullshit of like, oh, you would do it. Like, no, I didn't say that. You guys need a reason to throw somebody in. You're fucking pussy. And that is what it is. You know what I mean? And also, like, I feel like rookies, they bend the knee. So it's like, I was pissed that I got ganged up on. I'd go to this stupid ass redemption house and, you know, I have the opportunity to send people's girlfriends home, and I fucking did. And they were like, why did you do that? That was kind of like a stupid move. And I was like, Is it stupid? I was like, you pissed me off. I said, so why wouldn't I send your girlfriends home and tell you that they were banging people in the redemption house to fuck with your head? Like, what am I going to do? You sent me into the redemption house. I'm supposed to come back and be like, yes, Mr. Vet, let me get on my knees and suck your dick. No, thank you. Like, not happening. Sorry, Rachel.
We'll be right back.
So, but let's compare the Big Brother house to a challenge house.
Yeah.
Like I just started watching Big Brother during COVID because I never watched it, and I am like, that has to be one of those most boring house in the world because you really have nothing to do. At least on the challenge and on Real World, you can go swim in the pool. Like, is it just like night and day?
The challenge house is so much better. The challenge experience is so much better. I say this all the time. Big Brother house isn't a house. It's a studio lot. And the backyard is shut off for 4 days out of the week. So you're getting deprived sunlight. You don't have windows. It's mirrors with cameras behind them. It's a very small house. Like, the house is like a little bit bigger than like maybe just this section. And then you have like that. You have 16 people, 2 bathrooms. It's disgusting. There's ant infestations. You have people over the loudspeakers constantly like playing these mental games with you. Like, Scott, please stop singing. Scott, please don't do movie quotes. And like, they're doing it to like mentally make you break. So I hate it. Challenge house is like night and day different. Like, I'm on vacation when I'm in the challenge house.
Okay, see, you said vacation. They said work. So
Yeah.
how much enjoyment, like, is it a little bit like there's times in the house where you're just relaxing and you're not doing game, or is it always you're stressed about the game?
What I found interesting, especially on 40, because listen, I came from the very, very beginning, and it was.
And it used to be just party.
It was.
And now it's gotten like.
It was party.
Oh, let me work out.
No, but it was. Dude, there was no. They didn't have a gym for us back then. There was no gym. They had endless booze, but no gym. But back then it was like party. Oh, we have a challenge to do in 6 hours. Okay, let's maybe go to bed now. Like, now, what I noticed in 40, especially era 3 and era 4, was I would walk over to their area during the day, and they'd be like doing puzzles and studying and all this, almost like doing homework, right?
On All Stars, we go in there nowadays, and I'm like, we refer to like all these new people, the new era, and definitely everybody
and
who's
Avery is
coming.
new era. Like, let's.
Yeah, but they're like, or maybe she's not. She's right on the cusp because she already shared at least 10 weeks of her life on Real World. And once you know somebody that deep, it's tough for them to go on a game. When you haven't already like divulged your like utmost vulnerabilities to the entire fucking world, and they already know your like how many brothers, sisters, where I grew up, all that type of stuff. It's so much easier for them to like use shit against me and I don't even realize that they're playing a game and constantly doing. I mean, I'm gonna start changing things up now because coming out of the nursing home, they don't let us out multiple times in a row unless we come back like with a good story.
I did notice that some of those younger players are very into studying during like when you're not shooting, whereas back in the day it was either challenge or what are we doing to have a good time. There was never like, let's do Sudoku or let's do this puzzle games back. Like, I think Kyland especially, Kyland had a book and was doing stuff every minute of the day. And like, I mean, he's a super smart guy and he's very strategic, but I'm like, dude, are you having fun?
No.
You guys are too nice to them, though. Yeah. Like, you just let them study and stuff. Yeah. Like, if you walked in and was like, nerd, like, quit your study and you loser, and like start around them.
Too. I'd say like in the last 4 years, 5 years, people started like really amping up on like the puzzles and
like 3 or 4
Sudoku,
years.
Yeah, and the trivia and like.
You know what I hate? I told them in the car. I told them in the car. If I watch the challenge now, it's like 80% puzzles. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, let's go back to where it was just fun, goofy stuff. It doesn't have to be all like a marathon and all that stuff.
Let's do the rubbing of the soap
right,
or
but like this, it's like
let's do that.
It's like,
come on,
you guys,
some ice.
Melt some ice, rub your butts, let's go.
Yeah, but now it's like you have 5 pentagons in front of you. This is all. It's like enough. It's like, especially as a viewer, like, why am I going to watch them do a puzzle when they could be in Speedos, fucking melting ice with their bodies? You know?
And sometimes or just switch it up every now and then. Everything has a puzzle component.
But it's
to it.
always a puzzle now, and I'm like, Jesus, enough with the puzzle.
Davis, your thoughts?
Okay, what about the eating? Is the eating stupid?
I love the eating.
I don't mind the eating because I don't mind it, but like they don't do that all. Like that's used sporadically at a perfect time, and I think in the games, usually finals and whatnot. But like, it's not like it's every challenge is an eating challenge. But the puzzle thing, man, holy shit.
Yeah.
And also the eating challenge, at least like on our season, not the one that just like the normal one, wasn't that crazy. Like sometimes it's fun. It could be a little bit of an equalizer when it is like really crazy.
Now they're super sensitive to dietary restrictions, which is like counterintuitive to the whole thing.
Yes.
Like they'll be like, all right, so you guys are going to have to eat these fish balls. Except
but
you,
not you,
Tori, have
Nehemiah.
this kale salad.
Here's this tofu with garlic
Yeah,
on it.
Nehemiah, you can eat this shoelace. Haha, we got you. We dipped it in mud first. And it's like,
Now,
They thought they had me. They were like, "This is a vegan shake." I was like, "Yeah, but is it keto?"
oh,
Did you have a dietary restriction?
Yeah, but I didn't use
I'm really
it.
glad we got a dad joke out of
but I
that.
love how like the point of these is to torture, but then they're like, but we're going to do it like, you know, in an inclusive way. We're
Right.
going to torture, but
Tori, you get the peanut
we
butter.
would never make you eat nuts. Come on, you know,
I just don't get it because I remember everybody made fun of Final Reckoning so badly for just how soft it had gotten, and then Booth literally murdered us for War of the Worlds 1 and War of the Worlds 2. And then it kind of went back to, wait, don't kill him that much. Let's give people options. You know, when they cast Jose knowing he couldn't swim and he jumped in a pool without a life jacket on like an idiot and almost sunk to the bottom and drowned. Like, can we go back to like not caring about our health
Like the
just
swimming.
a little bit?
like in the Battle of the Arrows, the final.
Oh.
Was it the stupidest, most unfair final in the history of the challenge?
So much swimming.
Well, if
I
people
hear it all the
eliminated
time.
Jordan beforehand, no.
I
Would
hear
be
it.
pretty equal,
Right,
but
right,
Jordan's
but-
the best swimmer.
I get that,
But again, you have to. The problem is too and Paulie, we've had this conversation before. Is a lot of the top tier executives don't come from a competitive, like a real physical competitive background. So when you see stuff like that, you're just like, man, this just doesn't make sense. Like this is not evening the playing field by any means. If anything, it's skewing it the furthest. So I don't know. I love some of the challenges that they do. I think they're great, but some of them I scratch my head and I'm like, why this? You know, even the elimination he just did where they're like, they saved, like it's the
Spoiler alert.
It's the biggest elimination, right? It's the biggest one who goes to the final. And
The two toughest teams.
yeah, and the elimination was just so like
guessing
subpar.
game.
It was
Yeah.
like a guessing chance game. And like everyone was like, man, I would rather them like balance this and then pull this or this and then do it. Like, but it was just that to have that as the last one seemed a little out of place.
And you haven't watched it, but for instance, like this season of All Stars, and I think even the last one, there's no hall brawl, there's no pole wrestle, there's no balls in. A lot of the quintessential challenge eliminations that are pretty lo-fi and easy to set up. And I would argue even at like like you guys on All Stars were doing them, you and Letary and things like that. So you can't even really say that like when you're getting up there in age, it's less safe. But for whatever reason, they've kind of stripped All Stars of those completely and replaced it with you were literally guessing whether Nani had something in a box. Yeah. That was the elimination.
It was really scary to go into those eliminations and know that it's a coin flip.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because initially, I want like Steve and I kind of had something to prove. As soon as they were like, oh, all male teams have such an advantage, I was like, fuck, let's just take everybody out. Everyone. They're going to do this to us. Let's just destroy every single person. And Steve's like, look at these, man. He's like, another team goes into that first one. Like, Beth and John A could have beat us. Like, they're one little...
It was crazy.
One little thing. And so you wonder, you're like, are they planning these? How much time do they have before the day? Could they change it up? Like, so basically, that call your bluff and then the chopstick carry, was that set up? Or did they do that for Turbo and Nani against Steve and I? Like,
To even
You don't know.
I want to know.
Right.
You want to know, be crazy, and I don't know if the Godfather can do this. I mean, he can almost walk on water at this point with
Yeah,
what
he
he's
pretty
done
much
with
can.
All Stars.
but he won't reveal it.
Do I feel like we're almost at a time where there could be a panel of the more sage, veteran people to be able to work hand in hand with Buna Murray and MTV in order to almost make it the ultimate show, right? Because you guys have done enough where you guys could have those conversations with the higher up executives and be like, hey, we're going to have a Mark Long. He's not competing on this season, but he's going to be in that back room with the TVs and he's going to be listening in on the conversations and he's going to be doing these things, right? Like, is there a transition for these people who have been there for so long, put so much blood, sweat, and tears in where, yeah, they could go and compete on an All-Stars or a flagship, or they could be behind the scenes and they're the executives. I know it's a no-no because it's like, oh, once you're behind the scenes, you can't go in because then you know too much and then you know this and that. But is there not room for a panel where maybe if they're not on the shows behind the scenes, they could at least meet once a quarter with Buena Murray and MTV and be like, here's what we're thinking, guys. And this is what we think could make the show better. And they almost act like a board of executives for the challenge.
That's literally how every other industry, sport, like players become coaches and executives and general managers, actors become directors and producers. The only industry that doesn't work that way is reality TV, because then it would somehow let the cat out of the bag that it's really not that hard to do this stuff. And they have to pretend. They have to pretend that, like, oh no, you guys are good at being on the show, but like the years of experience I had getting coffee that then turned into coming up with what people were going to wear in an interview chair, and then who should swing from what vine, and oh, what kind of car are we going to throw off that mountain? That's too much for you, Mark. I don't think you'd be good at helping with that.
Well, but it's also like what Mark said. Like Mark and a lot of people come from physical backgrounds, whether you played sports or not. Do we really want the theater kids being like, yeah, I think this is safe if they jump from that to that because they thought it up and wrote it down in like their diary in high school?
One of the things that I noticed is, for instance, like the elimination, I don't know if you've seen this, but when Derek and Horacio were doing the pegs,
yes,
and they stopped them before the thing and they said to Derek and Horacio, guys, the pegs are going to fall out. Just ignore that and keep going. Once you have it in, if it falls out, it's like, but to me, it's like, why is it even an option that the pegs are fucking going to fall out? If that's going to be in the pre-production,
scrap it.
No, drill a hole so they stick through. Like, just small stuff like that. I'm like, why leave it so that now the audience sees this? It's a big fucking huge deal online that did Horacio get screwed? Did Derek cheat? Did this? It's like simple as that. It's like those kind of like eliminations or those kind of choices that they make in terms of production, to me, is so simple to fix. And what Paulie was saying, I would love to craft some of these eliminations or some of these challenges, but there's such a hard line between cast and production. It's almost impossible because, like Scott said, they don't want to cross that line because they like to have 100% of the power, and I think 100% of the reward for doing the show. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm lucky I got All-Stars off the ground, to be honest with you.
They would rather, and I'm not even talking about present company included, they would rather just send someone a check and be like, thanks for the idea. We'd rather you do absolutely nothing than be like, hey, come out here and like just approve everything, make sure everything's good, up to stuff. How about you try this elimination? Let's see what a 230-pound challenger does doing this. Instead of, no, we'll have like an intern try it. And then when Corey does it, wow, he is a lot faster than Josh. We probably should have had someone else do that.
Or like they're like, we test all of these dailies. It's like, yeah, you test it for fun as if you're at like a birthday party. We're doing it full speed, competing for money.
100%.
It's two different. It's like it's the difference between touch football and tackle football in the NFL almost. Like it's that night and day. And it's also just so crazy to me that like I think they just don't want to see the gaps of inefficiencies because I know that the talent coordinators don't talk to the lighting coordinators who don't talk to the sound coordinators, and you would think that everybody would be on the same page to be like, all right guys, so is sound and lighting ready? Are the cameras ready? Okay, great, now we could bring the cast in to get this going right away. But what happens is the talent coordinator gets told we need the cast there at 6 a.m. and fucking lighting and sounding and video haven't even coordinated yet whether they're fucking set up. So
then
it's
you're
like
standing around.
So then we're standing around for 4 hours with our dicks in our hands, or tits in our hands, and I don't think they want us to see that because I mean, Mark's a smart guy, Adam's a smart guy, Avery's a smart girl, Scott's a smart guy. I'm not that smart. Davis over here keeping it chill. Like it wouldn't be too hard to be like, all right, guys, what if we had one line of communication for everybody to only communicate how far away you are from being ready to roll.
We've never, and you guys know this, you'd never roll into a challenge without waiting at least an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah,
100%.
They never go on time, ever.
Don't you guys hurry up and wait?
Yeah, it's hurry
Doesn't
up
your
and wait.
boss make you hurry up and wait?
No, never.
The best is
How
right.
quickly were we up? We got in this room and we were recording
We are
within
hella
3 minutes.
efficient. Radio is almost live all the time.
Yeah.
So it's different live versus like I lived in Hollywood and worked for Dr. Phil for a while.
Oh.
And that was like a hurry up and wait scenario and like the same kind of thing where it's like you're waiting for someone's coffee to come. They're not starting until they get their coffee. And so instead of waiting on a guest coming from Rancho Cucamonga, they're taking forever. There's traffic on the 5. It's just like whole day shoot for a 45-minute production, which is unbelievable. Which here it's like boom, 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 boom. You're like, holy shit, how much did we do today? It just goes so much faster in radio versus television.
But it's also like they come from MTV. Like I came from CBS, where every day you knew when the HOH competition was, when the veto competition was, and exactly what part of the day it was happening and when it was going to end, and it was ran so efficiently. It's like the curtain opens up, you're lined up at the door, you go out, big energy, you do the competition, you come back in, you wait, and it was just and everything was just boom, 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 boom. Now, granted, they're on a studio lot,
but you're also shooting live to tape. Some of it's airing actually live. Other episodes are being cut and aired 3 days later.
Which
so you
is
can't
wild.
you can't be that late.
You can't be you can't be inefficient. We have the live feeds going nonstop, and we have 3 episodes a week being edited in real time based off of what is being seen and shown.
I wish we could do some live feeds, and we had a Road Rules that we almost did live, and then I feel like there's a lot of people that want to watch more stuff afterwards. Like, why don't we make the show right?
Yeah.
But then why not show the entire?
Have you ever followed the Big Brother Twitter? They're rabid. Like they will be
rabid.
They'll be like, "Did you see when she walked out of the room? The way he kind of looked at her. That was a microaggression. He's racist. Let's get him fired." He's in real estate. I found his real estate.
Your relationship might have not even been able to get off the ground. We'd be like, "Do you see the way Adam stares at Avery's ass? Like he's totally a predator, dude."
No. Like seriously, like there's a Big Brother guy. I don't even know who the guy is. I like my wife got me watching Big Brother, like I said during COVID, that live tweets the whole day, and I'm like, does he have people that worked for him, or does he stay up the entire time and do it? Like, how do the people do this?
Right.
They are
BB
so
updates
hardcore.
or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Whatever they are, they're.
You know when I knew we were in for it on season 40. This was like the best. Is the
first challenge?
The very first morning when we woke up in the castle. We went down, and there was 40 cast members.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
So instead of having like 3 instant coffee machines, right? Because everyone wants coffee when they wake up. They had one espresso machine, and you had to grind your own beans to fucking do your coffee. And I'm like, if you want us ready in 30 minutes, you're thinking 40 people are going to grind their own beans and like you're instantly setting people in the worst pissed off mood ever. And I remember blowing a gasket. I'm like, how simple is it? So again, with Pleasant, they should have a cast member walk through that house a week before and be like, this isn't going to work. We need more of this. Could you guys do that? The girls aren't going to change with the wide open areas, which they had to fix in 2 days because girls were changing wide open in front of everyone. So like just basic stuff like that you would think would be such an easy fix. Like the very first morning, we didn't even have eggs or any American breakfast. It was all Vietnamese stuff. Everyone laughed. We're like, this is fucking bullshit.
I think we had like frog legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
really?
100%.
And that explains why Tony wanted to leave.
Yeah. Tina the first night was like, I'm not staying here. She's like, I am not staying here. Get me the most top producer on the phone. I'm like, I'm not staying here. And he talked her back down off the ledge, but like, it was not that we're being prima donnas. It's just like, dude, we are talent, right?
Right.
We just want to fucking be normal. Like, give us a coffee machine. Give us some fucking American breakfast. You know, it's like, it's very simple stuff. And look, if the show was they're roughing it and we're gonna get
naked and afraid.
Yeah, like that's different. But when you go into this
coffee maker.
Yeah. But when you go into
just an espresso machine.
Yeah. But when you go into this season 40 where it's supposed to be this huge thing and like some of the things that like 10 years ago were better, you're just like, man, this is what did they save the budget on? You know what I mean?
No, I know I said it was work, but I felt like I was at a wellness resort. I mean, All Stars is a completely different thing. So we had like.
But who has a major hand in All Stars?
Well,
but they also treat you better because you're older, right?
Right?
I think that's what it is. I mean,
here's the deal. They have to be in a better house. They have to be taken care of because there's the incentive for them to leave their families, Adam has 2 girls. Like the incentive has to be more than just, I'm going to be away for 3 months and hopefully I'll win $1 million. Like, some of the younger kids who don't have families yet, that's a like, hell yeah, I'm doing that. But in terms of like Jeanets who have kids, Adam, even Avery now being in a step mom figure. So it's like, you have to make it nice so some of these people that haven't done it in 15 years are like, yeah, that sounds like a really good time. I'm going to go do that.
Yeah, that's how you bring the Jodies back. That's how you get them involved.
Exactly.
So when Tony, everybody thinks he wanted to leave. He was there for the paycheck. How Avery, I know you can speak on that, but how often does this happen?
For Tony, pretty often.
There's a lot of cast members that go and collect the check, I think.
100%. They go there. It's vacation. They get it. But that's the thing.
They have a guarantee
that could be
of,
regulated 100%. But I don't
some
understand.
People have crazy guarantees. They're like, you're guaranteed for 8 weeks. I'm like, so two months. This person is guaranteed 2 months of money. When I have to slave away and okay.
And that's my qualm with people showing up out of shape, who get giant guarantees like the Veronicas and like the Anisas. It's like, you make so much money, you could fucking hire a personal trainer and a dietitian in the months that you have off. Anissa knows she's going back at least once a year. So does Veronica. You know what I mean? And it's like, they get 6 figures. We're not allowed to talk about what the people get, but they talk about it in terms of what it is. You can hire a personal trainer and put together a 10-week program and get yourself in decent shape. Anissa looks great now. You know what I mean?
Haven't seen her, so I don't know.
Yeah, she looks phenomenal. She's put in a lot of work. She finally listened. But some other people, it's like, what are you doing? And then it's like, you do have people that come back after a long time who look good. Like, look at Adam. Very good looking elderly man. Mark, very good looking elderly man. Avery, absolute smoke show, right? That's what people want to see when people are coming back.
Scott, great leather jacket.
But wait,
there's more.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about your fitness program and everything like that.
I love
if you're
you, Rachel.
on a
I'm so
season
sorry.
like All Stars 5, though, I would play devil's advocate and say that not necessarily the best use of your time and money, not to say you shouldn't just be healthy regardless, but because that show was designed, as you mentioned, when it comes down to the eliminations, the dailies, the fact that coming in last didn't even penalize you at all, the people who just played a good social game and actually were less of physical threats on paper. When you look across the field, they don't look like they're going to kick your ass tomorrow. Those are the people that had the easier road to the end. Now we have our teams for the finals. I'm not saying that like some of them or a lot of them aren't in very good shape, but they didn't have to necessarily prove it to get there along the way, other than Adam and Steve, who had to win 5 eliminations. But, I digress.
But I agree. I mean, you got to be in some kind of shape, because the first season of All Stars, the first episode when they all almost drowned, I mean, I was like, we got to stop this guy. It's like, I'm a huge challenge fan, but I was like getting nervous.
But what they stopped was doing the tough challenges, not the, like, you know what I mean? They almost,
that was so funny. I was there. It was just hilarious. Arissa, was that Arissa? Yeah. Like, oh my God. It was just fucking funny.
No, it's great. But at the end of the day, it is the
But I will say
world.
this.
Yes.
You know,
Love Island is getting tons of views.
You know who shows up?
Shows getting tons of views. Hot people on.
You know who shows up out of shape and starts working out the first day he gets there? CT.
Now I will say that. Okay.
CT does not care. He gets there. Well, right when he gets there, it's like, I'm going into boot camp. He likes, the smoking goes down. He starts working out, and you're like, oh, this is the guy's strategy. He just comes in out of shape, but then leaves like, jacked up.
No, because he went in. He got beat. I don't know what season it was. He got beat by Jay or someone, or
it was Jay. Yeah, it was Jay.
Yes,
and the hanging thing too, right?
Yes, and he was like, "Wow, dude!" And he came back the next season. He won it. And he was still out of shape, and he was like, "You know what? What if I get in shape now?" And he gets in shape and wins back to back. And I'm like, "Damn!" But then when he shows up for Battle of the Eras, I'm like, "CT, what have you been doing, dude?" Like, what you're fat CT. We don't need fat CT on TV. We need in shape CT.
He's like Elvis.
Like, it's like unbelievable. I'm like, dude, you go away.
I just hope CT doesn't die on the toilet.
He does remind me physically of it. I've seen pictures of Elvis and where I go, this guy does look like CT.
Yeah.
No.
CT is actually, he's a very different animal, because believe it or not, at that weight, he's still just as agile, which is crazy. Yeah, he's still just, I mean, he might get out of breath quicker.
He's like Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. He's just, but, I saw some clips earlier of him really young CT, and he was so like leading man, strapping, handsome, in shape, thin. Like, I'm like, man, that guy compared to this guy, 2 totally different people in terms of body style. But
did you see him on Traders?
I did watch Traitors. It's
So
great.
he shows up to that show with a bunch of, housewives and Survivor greats and gods and this and that, and outsmarts and out.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, it's 2 years now.
No,
I think
I know,
we're
I would
past
say
the
just-
statute of limitations. But I'll say he won the hearts of literally not just everyone on the show, but you had people who had never even heard of the challenge Googling who is Christopher Tamburello and what is
Because
he
he's
from?
he's a smoozer. He's very good at he can adapt to whoever's around him, and which makes him phenomenal.
Yeah.
He can talk to the women. He can you know what I mean? Like he can do everything.
He's
when
very
needs to-
charming.
Yes.
Like
Never met him.
like all the clips of him beating
Seriously.
people up, he's extremely
I've never
charming.
Met CT. I've never met Johnny Banana. Like all the greats of our show, I came so far before them and wasn't involved like Mark that I've never met any of them.
CT punched me in the face.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you
Actually, I saw that.
No, I remember he punched Adam in the face. I don't remember Davis getting punched.
He got kicked off a show for hitting Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
First night,
I was
right,
on the
Dave?
show. Yeah, first night. Anna was on the show when he punched Adam, and I was thinking, like, he's doing this again.
Yeah.
This is a
Derek
liability.
Kaczynski, I believe, got brought in as his replacement
He
on
did.
the season where
He did.
CT got kicked
Yeah.
off.
All of a sudden, Davis has got a big shiner on his cheek. He was like, he just punched me.
Wow. Okay, now when people come up to you in public, is it weird? Are people awkward? What do they yell at you? Like how does it work?
No, they it's so fun. I was in the Orlando airport and they come up like this. They almost whispering, "Hey, I know." So they'll come up like not like really. They're just like, "Hey, I know you from da 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 da. Can I do a picture real quick?" And of course, I'm me. I'm just like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm very loud, but like I have people come up to me like they're like nervous to like make a scene about it, which is weird to me. I'm like just like, come on up, because even this
Mark
morning,
gets it a lot because he's very big. He's large. He gets people notice him without even knowing who he is, and they start to try to figure out who he is. Is he an athlete? Who is he an actor? I know him from somewhere. I can't place it. Someone thought you were on The Shield or something once. There's an actor he kind of looks like.
Homelander.
But like, we travel quite a bit together, and we go to a
SWAT.
lot of arenas.
CBS
and stuff.
SWAT.
And he couldn't be nicer to every single person. But it's so funny because it's everyone for Mark especially from age 6 to literally, I'm not kidding, like age 86. Will come up to him and they have something to say and they want a photo, and it's great.
So there's a guy at the Orlando airport, a TSA guy, that to this day still thinks I'm on the CBS show SWAT.
Yeah.
And he gives me the royal treatment when I come.
That's the guy. Yeah, he was on The Shield.
His name, the actor's name is Kenny Johnson. If
Yeah.
you want to look
That's
that
funny.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met Kenny Johnson, and Kenny Johnson has gotten me before.
That's great.
Yeah. So I met him at a golf tournament.
Yeah, because like I didn't know if you have any geek out stories. Because there was one time I was in Austin, and that's where I grew up, and I'm at a bar and I'm hammered, and my buddy Forrest is like, "Dude, Bananas is here," and I'm like, "There is no way Bananas is at this bar, dude. We just got done with this charity event. Like, you're drunk, we're drunk." He goes, "He was walking in the bathroom when I was walking out. I'm gonna go find him. We're doing shots with Bananas," and I mean this bar is packed. And he comes back 30 minutes. He's like, "I found Bananas. Let's go." And so we tried to take a tray of shots to Bananas.
Was it him?
It was him.
Okay.
And I mean, I am sitting there going, "Johnny freaking Banana." And he's just like, "What is this idiot doing?" Like, and he took the shot with me. And I think I scared him half to death, and I don't ever want to see Johnny Bananas again, but I do want to see Johnny Bananas again because it was just like, man, I was at my worst, but I was at my best at the same time, and it was amazing. So the fact that you've never met Bananas shocks me.
When I meet Bananas,
wow.
I'm gonna
Oh
make
my
him do a
God.
lunchbox shot
Yeah.
with me.
No, but what you did, I know you feel lame about having
No,
done that.
I honestly
That's
don't feel
literally
lame.
what every single person does. Literally at our shows, we will be on stage during a show, and someone in the they will ask the waitress, they'll act like they're ordering for themselves. They'll be like, "Yeah, can I have 6 shots, whatever?" And then when the waitress brings it to them, they go, No, bring it to them. And then like in the middle of our show, we get interrupted with this very nice offering of whatever, and then it's kind of like, well, dribble, and you got to be like, I guess this is what they do on TV. So we're throwing shots back or whatever. But that is literally what everyone wants to do with these people is drink. It's like Steph Curry. Everyone wants to dribble with him.
If Johnny was drinking that night, he would have
Yeah.
been way more approachable. I will say that.
And
I've been with it, like when he's sober.
No,
like
he was really nice. Don't get it wrong. He was nice. I just think I came on a little strong.
Well, listen, we do a
yeah.
charity thing every year. You guys are coming, obviously, right? Paulie's going to be back.
Be there.
We'll bring Davis.
Where's this? Tell me about
In
it.
Orlando, but he's
All right, let me mark it
he's
down. What's the
sober. It's in December 5th.
I'm open on
If
that
you
day.
and trust me, it's like 150 reality stars. It's insane.
Oh, that's my
So,
alley.
but like, he was like, he was sober most of the time, and like the fans stay at the same hotel, so there's a lot of interaction. And after that whole weekend, he's like, man, I can't come back to this. He's like, I can't deal with this. So like, he's on another level of not embracing it, I guess, like we do. But again, like if he's boozed up and you want to do, he's like, let's, party. He's all about it. But when he's like in that kind of wants to be by himself phase, he doesn't want to be bothered.
The cool one is the celebrities who geek out for these guys.
That's what I was going to wonder. What celebrities are like, dude, I watch you on the challenge. Oh my God.
So
like,
Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Bucks, huge challenge fan.
Really?
And this is years ago. When I found out he was a challenge fan, I went down to when they were playing the Wizards. I brought him this like care package of our swag, and I was explaining to him who I am, and he goes, "You know Johnny Bananas." And he's like, Thanasis, come here. These guys knows Johnny Bananas. And I'm like, you just won the MVP and you care that I know Johnny Bananas. And I'm like, and also my business partner and co-host, Derek, he goes, yeah, but he hasn't been on the show in a long time. This is like before All-Stars and everything like that. And we actually just got back from Milwaukee a couple weeks ago, and there was Challenge Mania night at the Pfizer Forum, and we did a bunch of stuff on the court. Paulie was there too. We did red light, green light, throwing T-shirts into the crowd and things like that. So
my best story ever, which is fucking awesome. First of all, just side note, the Friends cast used to watch Road Rules back in the day, repeats in their makeup thing. So
that's
like
legit.
Matthew Perry, bless his heart, I met him a bunch of times. He was a big fan, but I was at the Playboy Mansion. Okay. Not to toot my own
This is
horn.
already a good story.
How was that?
Tell me more.
So I'm at the bar. I'm at the bar, and this is probably late 90s. And got to remember, when my Road Rules first came out, they hadn't picked up the second season
30
yet.
years ago.
Yeah, it's black and white. No, so they hadn't picked up the second season yet, so they played the entire first season, and then they played the entire first season. It was on for like a year and a half, and like 8 times a week. So I was at the bar at the Playboy Mansion, and I was getting a drink, and so I just hear this voice, and I hear in the background, it goes, Road Rules. And I turned around, and guess who it was?
Emilio Estevez, the mighty. No.
Jack Nicholson.
No.
Well,
Jeff Goldblum.
oh,
Remember Jeff from Jurassic Park?
wow.
He goes, Road Rules. And I was like, I can imagine what's up. That was like my weirdest kind of thing. Kobe Bryant was a huge MTV fan when we did it. He came and did a challenge with us, him and Reggie Miller. Kobe was a huge MTV fan. Reggie Miller could care less, but Kobe stayed out after us, signed all of our stuff. He was like, because he was a kid then.
Kanye West mentioned Svetlana in a so Do you remember that? Yeah, there's a Kanye song that mentions Svetlana.
Wait, is Svetlana the one that?
What's he been up to lately? That guy.
Real World, Key West.
Well, I don't know if you saw his latest wardrobe. My God,
Psy is in Eminem's video.
Video about Svetlana, but
Eminem had Cyrus in one of his videos. It's funny because back then,
It's crazy how it crosses over.
well, you know that culture back then, like TRL was like the thing, right? She knows, been there. MTV and TRL and like watching people like the Backstreet Boys, and then they'd have Limp Bizkit come on, and then Eminem. Like it was fucking just, it was a cool era. I always say I lived through a really cool era. I wish my nieces could live through that now, but it's totally different. But it's just, it was really fun. It wasn't so social media driven. Like we didn't have our phones all the time, so we didn't even have phones half the time. But it was just such a cool era. And like I remember sitting at the movie awards next to what's her name from the Voice, Blake Shelton.
oh, Gwen
Stefani.
Stefani.
Gwen Stefani was next to me in pink hair, and she's like knows the show. Like it was just fucking cool.
did you host Spring Break ever?
Yeah, hosted Spring Break. Yeah, Eric and I did.
Oh my
Big
God.
Easy still hosts
It was
Spring
great,
Break somehow.
Wait,
but it
Big
was
Easy does?
That's literally his job. I believe, I don't know if it's his only job, but one of his main jobs is for, I believe, it's not even just like spring break a week. There's this some town in Texas or something. It's like Galveston or something. I don't know where it is, but it's 6 weeks of spring break.
Brownsville. No, do not go there.
He hosts like a recurring spring break party for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just that he's
South
like,
Padre. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
that's
Oh,
what it is.
okay,
So-
that's legit. That's a legit place.
Yeah,
Brownsville is like
Am I
the
right that
crappy
that's
part of.
Texas,
Yeah,
though?
Brownsville's
That's
right
Texas,
next to
yeah.
it,
South
and that's where you
Padre.
get shot by the cartel.
I used to host that spring break.
So if you want to see the cartel, go to Brownsville.
But do you remember those like the MTV Beach House and all that stuff? Like
I aged out.
I'll tell you a great story. The same day that Road Rules premiered was July 19th, 1995. It was the same day that they released the premiere of Clueless. So I got to go to the Clueless premiere on the beach in Malibu, and this is when I felt like I was like, I still never feel like a celebrity, but I felt like cool because I went to this premiere and it was all the 90210 cast, all the people from Clueless, Elisa Donovan, who now is one of my best friends from a Worst Cook show we did. But like, I was on the beach and Jenny McCarthy was there and Chris Hardwick, and I was like, man, this is just fucking cool. But they don't do stuff like that anymore, and I hate it.
We do.
You do, but we do. But yeah.
Is there a way
to bring it back?
To bring it back where, I mean, I think you're doing a great job with just these and you incorporate the comedy into it. Who's to say that we can't pitch Panama City to have Challenge Mania live as their hosts of the next spring break?
I think it's just finding the right person.
So Lunchbox, we actually came on the show to announce
I live in the
travel
Panhandle.
company. We are going to be inviting fans and everybody on. No, I'm just kidding. There's
a cruise that everybody's doing in November.
We are doing a cruise.
When
We are
is-
doing a reality cruise.
In
Challenge
January?
Cruise, yeah.
November and January?
There's one in November that's sold out, but there is one in January. You can still get tickets to showroomrealitycruise.com. Mark will be on it. These guys want to be on it. They might be on it.
Wes Bergman.
But Weston Bergman, Jordan Weissly will be there. Rachel, Tina, Devin, Michelle.
This guy who looks like Brad, but
It's Brad.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
Brad.
know.
He
Is it
shaved
Brad?
He shaved the beard.
He kind of looks like Pitbull.
Guys, I don't know what it is, but whenever I go to the airport with that beard, they search me pretty extensively. So
Well, yeah.
if we're going to be going to the Bahamas,
Have you seen
I
him
should
without the
probably
beard?
I haven't seen him without the beard.
Oh,
he
it's
looks
great.
good.
The
Yeah,
beard,
it looks
and then
good.
it
He
just
looks
kept getting
good.
bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I was looking at pictures online. I was talking to our promotions girl a minute ago, and she's like, "Oh, I watched Real World San Diego," and I pulled up, and I'm like, "Look at how Brad looked! Oh my God, it was just so wild." And so, a couple more questions before you go. So, you guys earn gear when you're on the show, right? So, someone sent this to me, and I want to know if I'm a poser if I wear this crap.
No, of course
It's a
not.
challenge
oh my God, I'm
sweatshirt.
jealous.
First of
I
all,
want
you
one.
have that. They do not
Yeah,
have
Right.
that.
I was like,
They
I
don't.
want
They,
one.
They don't let
take
us
them
keep
back
it
now.
anymore.
That is
What?
an amazing.
Listen to
Yeah.
how lame that
Yeah,
is.
here's a never
Yeah.
before. So when we leave,
You
they-
gotta put that
they
on
take
right
back,
now.
They
Everything.
take back your uniform,
There's
your
a
socks,
checklist.
your shoes. They take back everything.
Yeah, they have
and
a
it's never to be
checklist,
seen
and they
again.
literally go
Why?
through everything.
Who knows?
Because they don't want us to put together really cool home offices when we get older that have all of our jerseys framed.
Pretty
in.
much.
I'll go a step further. So last year we got Derek and CT both in the Allen and Ginter tops line, right? And this isn't one of them. But Derek, back when they did let you take your jerseys for some of his cars, he sent in 2 of his jerseys. So you can actually get a Derek card that has a piece of his Dirty 30 jersey where he came in second on it. How cool is that? He wouldn't be able to
That is
do that
freaking
if they didn't
cool.
have the jerseys. You know what I mean? So, and
Yeah.
rumors are there might be some more challengers in this year's line of tops Allen and Ginter. Who knows?
Who knows?
I had to send them.
sitting here.
I had to send them challenge worn bandanas.
There you go.
This
I
is
owned
so
them.
wild.
And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, because I have gone to them being like, hey, I have like companies that would give us
Free
all of
swag.
the jerseys, all of the supplements. Most of the people pack half their bags with supplements. They would give every person individual supplement stacks, jerseys. We'd be able to keep it. And they'd put up the winnings money. And they're just like, yeah, no, that sounds great. Fuck off.
Interesting.
So
So
yeah,
I'm not a
definitely.
poser for wearing
No,
it.
no.
Not at all.
You're actually in the
have
elite.
more
Can you buy
challenge
some for
sweatshirts
us?
than
Because
they do.
we
Here's the
want
thing,
some that have our
feel like
names.
I love it because I'm a diehard. Like I've watched it my whole life, and I thought that was my career path. When I was in college, and people are like, "Hey, what do you know? What jobs are you applying for?" I was like, "No, I'm gonna be on the Real World." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not applying for jobs. Like that's not my life. Like I'm not gonna have a real job. Like I'm gonna be on TV. But someone gave this to me, and I thought I was a poser. So
No.
then now, Avery and Adam, you guys meet. And you have a relationship on the show. Paulie, you've been in this situation. Mark, I don't remember if you ever fell in love on the challenge or not. But how do you know that this is a real relationship? Like, it's a TV show. None of these relationships work.
We didn't get to have our relationship on until we came back and just kind of like kept on getting to know each other deeper and deeper. So our relationship
He
happened.
wouldn't leave me alone. He just wouldn't leave me alone. He's always checking up on me, making sure I'm all right in Arizona. I'm like, I'm fine, man.
Yeah, I guess I
But I
did.
was like, what is with this guy? And then
I
and
just
then all of
dadded
a-
her to
yeah,
death.
and then all of a sudden, yeah, his
All of a
daughter.
sudden I left and I was like, hey, are you going to be all right without me? She's like, you can barely tie your shoes without me. I put your sunscreen on for you. What do you mean, am I going to be okay?
Yeah.
And no, it was just magical. Like
Yeah.
it just developed so like.
Well, it was one of your daughters. One of his youngest daughter. We were talking on the phone one day, and she stole the phone. And then she was like, took me aside, and she's like, "Do you want to know a secret?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. Like, who doesn't want to know a secret?"
Right.
And then she was like, "Okay, my dad has a crush on you.
No.
Yeah, and I went, that's why I said, I go, no.
Avery's like, most people have a crush on me, honey.
Take a number, get in line. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just because I always wonder. I watch it and it's like, you know, Theo's hooking up with
Olivia,
and I'm like, there's no way that's gonna last. And it's like they're still dating. It's like, what? How?
Well,
does
she
that...
got his name tattooed on the back of her
neck.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't have any tattoos with Adam's name.
You know what I mean? Like I just always think,
I
those
think-
are just
I
a
think-
flash in the pan.
I will say
because
this.
You're locked in a house.
I think there was a lot more showmances back in the day because it was so party atmosphere.
Yeah, it was.
So you'd hook up and when you went back, it kind of fizzled. But I guess not that the people have evolved and got more mature, but I mean, Adam, isn't 21 anymore, and Avery isn't 21 anymore. I hope. Right? No, but I'm saying I think it's a different time now because I want to say there was even more hookups like on Big Brother back in the day than there is now. I think people are more cognizant to it because there's so much social media and instant.
Devin and Michelle are going
yeah,
strong.
Devin and Michelle are going strong.
Actually, everything you just said, I do feel like now people know the stigma. So they know, like, relationship built on TV, how long is this going to last? And they're sort of like, if you're going to enter into it, you got to give it at least 8 months just to prove everybody wrong. And I think to go a step further with them, they had the Johnny Bananas of the world, like from Jump Street, telling them, he's just in it for the game. You guys aren't a real couple. And I do think that did kind of, fuel them to give each other their best, and they're still together very happy.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even that. It was just what you find out about challengers is a lot of the things they say publicly is projection. Most of them have to go to therapy, if we're being honest, and that's totally fine. But when, like when Cara and I first got together in Bananas, and they're being like, he's using you for game, I'm like, yeah, dude, because that's what you fucking do. Like, you're how old? You need a young chick to hook up with? Like, he put a picture of him and Natalie in Us Weekly. Like, that was his publicist that did it. He's like, we're going to set up this date where we're getting coffee, so we're going to take a picture, and I'm going to put it in there. So he was just a little bit upset that I was actually, dating somebody from The Bachelor at the time, and my hookup was actually newsworthy, when me and Cara got together. So I think he just wanted a little bit of, like, the I told you so thing if anything did happen. I mean, he did. But Johnny and I, we're on good terms now. But I do got to give him a little shit from
his
the beginning.
defense. But anyway.
And how often, like, outside of the show, like, the anger feelings on the show, they carry over to real life?
I had this conversation with him at the hotel just now. I said it's a shame. It's a shame when people really extend the enemy hatred months after the show because it is a TV show, right?
Yeah.
There's only one winner usually, or two winners. So he was talking about him and Frank.
Made my life fucking miserable.
Yeah, but he's like, Adam's like, I've now grown to move beyond being an enemy. You could probably hang out with Frank now and have a great time.
Yeah. But now you guys have reasons. Like, back in the day, it used to be that, especially you and Frank, people have like completely different lives and careers. That if you went on All Stars 5, decided you hate each other, there's really no reason for you guys to ever interact unless you come to one of these or you see each other on the touring circuit or you go and do another season together. So it is easy to get swept up in the, I should hate this guy of it all if you don't get to see each other. But the fact that we do so many of these and, unless people request, hey, I don't want to do one with Paulie or whatever, like, you do kind of know, hey, I might see this guy in the future. He might, what I mean? Maybe we mend fences a little sooner. Maybe we don't put things out there on social media that we can't, ask for forgiveness for later, So
And I think a lot of people don't realize too, like when we film these shows, like they're a year past. Like by the time that they're aired, that's it last year. Like that we
It's
filmed.
so weird.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, okay, it's been a year. Like what can I really like Paulie, we have nothing against each other, but like, let's say Paulie pissed me off. Like, is it really that serious that in a year, like, did he really take my pillow one night and I'm like, I hate you, Paulie, I wish you die. Like, and like really like hold on to that for like a year. And that like sometimes like, I know that we have like really, there's our castmates that have real serious problems with each other. Totally different, like, okay, you personally don't like this person. Get it. Like,
yeah, I get it. I understand why no one likes Laurel. I get it. I totally understand.
For something like gameplay related, it's like, it's a game at the end of the day. Like, it's a game. Like, we're playing a game.
Hold a grudge?
Amanda?
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Johnny.
I love Johnny. He's one of my best friends. But
grudge.
if you've crossed him in his mind and somewhere in the past, he will hold that to his grave.
Yeah. Even if he gets you back.
Yes.
Yeah, he's allowed to cross people, but once someone crosses him, it's like, oh, you just scorched the earth. How dare you? But he is the king of crossing. Like he crosses all the time, and that's why people love him, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's. I mean, but yeah. But yeah,
just-
thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
And hey, if you guys are anywhere, Challenge Mania Live, May 4th in New York, May 25th in Chicago, June 7th in St. Louis, June 28th in Pittsburgh, June 13th or July 13th in Atlanta, September 7th in Phoenix, and in July 13th, Bananas will be in Atlanta. So,
And I just want to tell you also, at 3 of those, we're also throwing out the first pitch with the Major League Baseball team. So in St. Louis, we're doing the Cardinals when they play the Dodgers. In Pittsburgh, when the Pirates play the Mets. And then in Phoenix, we did it last year. Mark threw it out. In Phoenix, Tori's going to be throwing out the first pitch when they play the Red Sox. So
I will
we're
also
doing
be
a
doing-
lot of cool stuff like that with the sports teams
I will also
as well.
be doing batting practice before she throws the first pitch. So
He
That's
almost,
legit.
dude, he literally almost crushed one out of the park last September. It was
That would
nuts.
be epic.
I will get it done this time.
But thank you guys for having us, and thanks for the plugs.
Yeah,
and,
so much fun.
Yeah.
guys.
All right, Challenge Mania Live. Check them out. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
It's a